It's those incredible animals and those amazing monsters and legends.
Begone, thou hideous demon, unto thine appointed place.
We'll hunt for Nessie and go on a Loch Ness quest.
Oh, no, I'd be delighted if they could find out what these things actually are.
Then you'll find out that America has its own Loch Ness monster called Champ.
It just came straight up out of the water and rolled straight down in.
Plus, the search for Bigfoot continues. And then just what we needed, a brand new monster, the Lizard Man.
I think the Lizard Man is an alien.
Hello, I'm Loretta Swit. Welcome to Those Incredible Animals. She's Scotland's biggest tourist attraction, and yet few visitors ever get to see her. Does she exist? Here's Mark Bailey with the quest for the Loch Ness Monster, lovably referred to as Nessie.
It's impossible to take your eyes off the murky water, knowing that it might appear without warning. The uneasy feeling in the pit of your stomach comes from knowing that, should it appear, there's absolutely no way to predict how you'll react.
Suddenly, it was very calm, and suddenly this great creature rose up out of the water just off the castle point. It must have been, 60 or 70 feet long, the bit that was out of the water. And it just lay there for ages.
Winifred Carey, Freddie to her friends, has spent most of her 81 years on Loch Ness. The famous monster, or monsters, are no legend to her, but something she claims to have seen no less than 16 times.
I was in the garden, and I was looking across the bay here, which is about 2/3 of a mile to the other side of the bay, and I saw a terrific disturbance close to the shore there. It was huge, and these three sort of peculiar humps. I don't know what they were. I can't understand that. And I rushed in to get the telescope, and I took it out to have a look. And when I got to the gate to look, that had gone, although there was still a commotion in the loch. The loch was very calm. And then, as I was looking, I suddenly saw something move on the shore. It was a large sort of bulbous, pale grey sort of thing. And I saw it moved. It sort of flopped along the edge of the loch.
Freddie is far from alone. Thousands claim to have seen Nessie. She first surfaced in 565 AD when an indignant St. Columba ordered the monster to return to the depths and terrorize his followers no more. Numerous searches have failed to produce anything concrete, and no doubt too many Godzilla movies had the Japanese thinking this decoy might do the trick, while this priest probably figured St. Columba had it right all along.
Begone, thou hideous demon, unto thine appointed place, and return no more to plague the servant.
Evidence is sketchy. A handful of grainy photographs, a few inconclusive movies.
Loch Ness is only 23 miles long and just a mile wide. So you'd think in the past 1,400 years since the first sighting, somebody would have come up with something conclusive by now. But you see, the problem is Loch Ness is also 750 feet deep. The water's jet black, the visibility almost zero. However, this time, researchers say if Nessie's down there, they'll find her.
Where others have failed, Operation Deep Scan will try to unlock the secret of Ness. 20 boats forming a single picket line, sweeping the depths with sonar. Project leader Adrian Shine has been here before, and he's convinced there's something down there.
What I'm really saying is that in a loch with this reputation, and we get sonar contacts, we don't understand them. We really ought to find out what they are. And lastly, the local eyewitnesses here do impress me on a personal level. This is. They do see things that they don't understand, and they've been living here a long time.
Tell me, do you really hope they do find Nessie?
I'd be delighted. I only wish you would come up on our shore. That would be super. I'd love to see it. Oh, no, I'd be delighted if they could find out what these things actually are. It'd be very interesting, you see, because we know they're there.
Swit 17, take 1.
If Nessie comes up for air during Operation Deep Scan, the professionals and the amateurs alike are determined to get that one picture worth 1,000 words, not to mention dollars.
We want to keep the chart as clear as possible.
Those not watching the water are glued to the sonar screen.
What we're looking at is we want a large crescent shape, actually down about the centre of the chart.
That would be Nessie?
Most probably, yeah.
The go on outside the scale numbers.
Suddenly, one of the boats signals. They have a very large sonar contact. 185 meters down, moving fast. Could this be Nessie? The creature many say is a giant plesiosaur, long thought extinct. 1 minute, it was there. The next, it was gone. Operation Deep Scan officials will only say that no known phenomenon can account for this elusive contact. Others have tried to explain away Nessie as everything from a giant eel to rotting vegetation. Even Freddie Carey, after 16 sightings, still doesn't know what to make of the Loch Ness Monster.
I've no idea, but it's some sort of very large creature that they must be breeding in the loch. It might be some type of plesiosaur, but of course I wouldn't know. I mean, I wouldn't believe it myself if I hadn't seen it so often. We know the creatures are there, and as I say, we've all seen it.
So, where does Operation Deep Scan leave us? Well, probably right back where we started. But one thing's for certain, no matter who you talk to or what conclusions you decide to draw, when you come to Loch Ness, you keep your eyes open.
Now, Scotland isn't the only place you can go looking for a legend. Some people claim that the United States has its very own UFO. That's unidentified fishy object. We call him Champ because the sightings have been on Lake Champlain.
Just half a mile from Champlain Shore.
Ray Sargent can't remember when he hasn't been boating on the 350 square miles of Lake Champlain in upstate New York and Vermont. One May day in 1982 didn't appear any different until...
Jokingly, I said, "There's Champ."
What Ray Sargent saw was a black tubular shape sitting up in the water, and then it quickly disappeared.
I don't like the word monster. I think I saw something large and huge.
Had Ray Sargent seen the Lake Champlain monster? The most famous picture of it purportedly taken in 1977. But Champ, as it's come to be called since its first reported sighting in 1817, has remained otherwise elusive. Scientists would say non-existent.
There is no grounds to believe that there's anything other than some large fish, perhaps eels, and of course floating debris.
After years of study, Dick Swetterlich of the University of Vermont believes Champ is nothing more than legend brought to life by the imaginations of those who want to see it.
The story supports the belief. The belief supports the story.
Whether or not the 130 or so people named on the Champ sighting board outside Port Henry, New York, on the lake's south shore, all really saw something, we don't know. But these four people know what they saw. Bob Dubois and Janet Hansen and Joe and Shirley Marinello.
It just came straight up out of the water and rolled straight down in, seemingly stationary as far as I could tell.
A series of humps or little fins like came out of the water.
I saw the head and the arch of the neck come up.
I really think it was two sea serpents.
Then there is the Smith family. August 1988. On a family camping trip, they see something out in the water and sort of capture it with a home video camera.
It had a pretty big nose and then had a long neck and then it had humps in the back.
There is no reason to believe that these people, none of the sighting groups know each other, got together to make this up.
I swear I'm not.
And while folks like Dick Swetterlich tell them there's no evidence of Champ, Joe Marinello is sure of one thing.
I know what I saw. I know there's something there.
The question is, what was it?
It wasn't a log. It wasn't a giant sea otter. It wasn't a sturgeon.
It was Champ.
It was.
Next on those incredible animals, he's big, he's hairy, and he goes by the name of Bigfoot.
I used to be real scared. When I first started hunting them, I carried a weapon, even with me a gun.
These next creatures may be the most fascinating of all the legends because they appear to be most like us. They stand erect, walk on 2 feet, and they seem to be very intelligent. They've been sighted all over North America, and everyone calls them Bigfoot.
Charles Charles Edson is a Bigfoot hunter.
Back in 1952 is when I started out hunting Bigfoot. I was just hunting like normal hunter does. He goes out in the woods and hunts his game, deer. I hunted a lot of cougar and bear, and then I run onto these tracks, large tracks that were at the time about 18 inches long, and that kind of fascinated me. And I thought it was a hoax. After 2 years hunting these tracks, it made a believer out of me.
Not only does he claim to have had many encounters with the thing, but he has taken motion pictures.
I used to be real scared. When I first started hunting them, I carried a weapon, even with me a gun. Found out probably that's why I never did see them as many times. So I quit carrying that when I got more used to it. I'm out there to see what makes it tick, and it hadn't hurt me yet, and I know it won't hurt me now. A lot of people know me, and they'll come up to me in a QT kind of a way and tell me something that they've seen. And real serious, they're not joking, because they know I'm not out for a joking hunt. I'm out there looking for this thing. And
but they won't tell anybody else?
No, afraid of being laughed at. And that's the trouble of the whole thing. That's why we're not gaining any response, from people. So we can learn anything, because people are scared to talk to each other. They're afraid of being laughed at.
If Bigfoot is so big and lives in California with all of its logging and growing population of hikers and campers, why haven't more people sighted it? Charles Edson says the creature exudes an overpoweringly bad odor, which effectively discourages humans from approaching. This also would account for wild animals leaving it alone. Well, surely we would run across the bones or the hides of dead Bigfoots. Charlie replies that bears and mountain lions die all the time, too. Yet their remains are practically never seen, and they are more populous than Bigfoot. Furthermore, Edson's Bigfoot is too clever to be visible. It has such a keen sense of smell it can detect metal, lumberjacks, axes, guns, and cameras. It hates noise and will remain far from logging crews or automobiles. And there's no such thing as a Sasquatch nest either. Being vegetarians, they are constantly on the move, foraging.
There's no evidence around. They just move, and they don't stay in one place very long. But I have found traces of moss and sap. This is what I think they keep warm in the winter, by using moss. The north side of the tree, nature put moss on the north side of the tree to keep that side of the tree warm. They discovered this way, in the old ancient way of keeping warm, they used moss over their hair, stuck it to their hair with the sap. He knows how to scream, he knows how to bounce that noise off a side of a hill or a rock. So a person or whoever, maybe an animal, that's how they scare the other predators away. And the smell, like a skunk, they have a way to let that smell go and scare off something they don't like.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, right.
Now, there have been some people from time to time who've been reported saying such things as, I'll shoot it if I see it, and there have been people actually who've tried to capture it. What do you feel about that type of attitude toward the creature?
I don't think anybody will ever capture it. He can maneuver better up on the tall timber and rock and stuff than we. He knows the boulevards up there better than we know ours. And and there's something mysterious about this creature that I have not been able to explain to myself. The thing can detect you before you're in the area, and I don't know. It's smarter than we are in that sense.
Now, you say you may sometimes spend a week way out in true wilderness in the middle of nowhere. Where do you get maps or charts for places like these?
You don't.
You go without any map or anything?
Well, I don't.
You got a compass?
No. A lot of people do, but I don't.
No compass, no map?
No, it's just something else you have to carry.
What about a hatchet, maybe?
No, I don't carry a hatchet even. I carry a little pocket knife.
Well, we didn't see any sign of Bigfoot. We do not even know that the creature exists. But we do know that this is one heck of a woodsman. Part Indian, with an iron constitution, there's no doubt that he could survive weeks in the wilderness. And we do know that Charles Edson will probably spend the rest of his life out there in search of Bigfoot.
Coming up on those incredible animals, a swamp thing they call the Lizard Man.
What would you do if you saw the Lizard Man?
Run away, that's all.
We've looked at the Loch Ness Monster, Champ, and Bigfoot, and suddenly there's another creature to contend with. He comes from the swamps of South Carolina, and he has the whole state in an uproar. May K. Beeler takes us in search of the Lizard Man.
Bishopville, South Carolina. Just weeks ago, this was a sleepy southern community nestled near an obscure swamp some 100 miles south of Charlotte. But the Lizard Man has changed all that.
It's something down there, nobody knows what it is.
7 foot tall, red glowing eyes, and hairy all over with 3 fingers.
Weighs 1,000 pounds and can step on the ground and leave a footprint in the ground an inch or so deep. He must be mighty bad.
So exactly who or what is this alleged Lizard Man? Well, it seems that his story started early one morning when Christopher Davis was changing a flat tire on a dirt road. Suddenly, a beastie-type creature ran out from the swamp and, according to Davis, chased him in his car at a speed of 40 miles per hour. Since then, there have been numerous sightings, and the normally sedate Bishopville has been swamped by creature hunters from all over. And then there's the invasion of Lizard Man paraphernalia, which is perhaps as overwhelming as the beast himself, whose big feet, by the way, have experts wondering if the creature is indeed a Bigfoot.
Footprints approximately 14 inches long and 7 inches wide and appear to be made by something pretty heavy. As a prankster, he's good, is all I got to say for him.
Looked like it got mad because it didn't find what he wanted.
The Lee County Sheriff's Department is working full-time on this creature case, yet with over 200 calls coming in every day. Sheriff Truesdale spends 90% of his time with the media, hungry to confirm tales of the Lizard Man, which grow bigger every day.
There's all kind of stories about this thing. Oh, you name it, we've heard it.
Like the one where the Lizard Man was seen running in the swamp with a mule in his mouth, or the car he ate as an appetizer, or where he was seen walking with Elvis.
Some of them are embarrassed, some of them think it's hilarious, and in that community, some of them are afraid.
You know, there have been tales about other things, like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot and things like that. They haven't proven those yet, but they haven't disproven them.
I think the Lizard Man is an alien.
Alien, animal, Lizard Man, Bigfoot, or prankster. Call him what you like, but it all adds up to dollar signs. Business is booming, and T-shirt sales are as hot as the swamp's steamy climate.
Couldn't be better, I don't guess, unless the Lizard Man came out here and autographed him for me.
What would you do if you saw the Lizard Man?
Run away, that's all.
And that brings us back to the beginning of our story, when 17-year-old Chris Davis became the Lizard Man's first victim. He didn't report the sighting for 3 weeks, fearful the community would think he was crazy.
Half and half. Half believe me and half don't.
But you're certain of what you saw that night?
Yeah.
How big was it, Chris?
About 7 feet tall. Long, big upper body.
Yet no matter how many times Chris retells his story, the fear just doesn't go away.
Scared, still.
Are you still scared?
No.
What do you think it is, Chris?
They say it's a Bigfoot.
Oh, the Lee County Lizard Man, he's the meanest creature by far. He'll slip around.
And with $1 million bounty on his head, is there anyone out there who wants to protect the Lizard Man?
Me? Just an innocent animal. Let it go.
And what if it is a Bigfoot?
Well, then we really made history. Because none has ever been captured. If you want to believe in Bigfoot.
Next, prehistoric monsters and futuristic engineering. Dinosaur robots on those incredible animals. Oh, this guy here, he's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a very lifelike robot here at the California Academy of Sciences in San Francisco. We hope you enjoyed our show on legends and monsters. I'm Loretta Swit. I'll see you next time on those incredible animals.
Loretta Swit's accommodations provided by the Campton Place Kempinski Hotel in San Francisco, part of a worldwide family of luxury hotels.
They were around for the beginning of time as we know it, and they are still with us, still alive, supporting other forms of life. Explore the giant sequoias of the northern forests on the Living Planet next.